So for quite a while now, growing up, all I wanted to do when I grow up is actually to become a neurosurgeon. But why would I want to become a neurosurgeon? I definitely don't want to do it for the money, and also I don't really see it as something I would do just because. This is something I would do because I get things called ophthalmic migraines. Now, ophthalmic migraines are migraines that start in the head, but the pain actually and pressure goes within and around the optic nerve to the eye, and all the pain starts to actually get concentrated into the eye to the point where it's mostly eye pain. And it's incredibly painful, and it causes other symptoms such as nausea and vomiting, extreme sensitivity to light, and dizziness and lightheadedness. And it's terrible, and like a lot of times I have missed extremely important events such as loved ones' graduations, nights out with friends, birthday parties, quite a few of them, and other special events, like said, sometimes even vacations. And I thought that this was pretty bad until I realized that one day I learned that people like this victim of a glioma actually have tumors in their brain that could actually kill them, and they need surgery for this. And so I actually am thankful that my migraines are migraines and nothing more, because if you would look at this, things like this, they need serious help, and I feel so bad that I actually wanted to give them that help, and that's what motivates me every day to study hard and want to become a neurosurgeon. That's why I chose my project to be brain tumors. I wanted to learn more, so I interviewed a surgeon that has dealt with tumors before. Well, ¿ya podemos empezar la entrevista o quieres, podemos tener como 5 minutos?
Claro, claro que sí.
Ok.
Vale.
Ok, entonces, ¿qué tipo de doctor eres?
Yo soy ortopedista traumatólogo.
Entonces, estoy haciendo un documental como por ahí de media hora, entonces un poquito corto, para un proyecto.
Sí.
Y lo que escogí para hacer eran los tumores del cerebro, tumores cerebrales.
Sí.
Entonces,
Sí.
¿Qué generalmente me puedes decir de los tumores?
Cualquier tipo, como el cráneo no es extensible, sino que es algo duro, entonces cualquier tipo de aumento de volumen dentro de la masa encefálica, pues se va a generar a nivel del cerebro y del cráneo, entonces va a aumentar mucho la presión. Eso tiene el cráneo, el cráneo, el cerebro está dentro del cráneo y ahí existe una presión intracraneal. Dentro del cerebro están las meninges, entonces está la dura madre, la pía madre y la aracnoides. De ahí de cualquier tipo de célula que exista en el cerebro, se pueden generar los tumores. Entonces hay unos que son benignos y malignos. Del cerebro está. Recuérdese que el cerebro tiene un lóbulo frontal, 2 lóbulos parietales, un lóbulo occipital. Cualquier célula que empiece a tener algún tipo de mutación se puede potencialmente llevar a un tumor, a que se genere un tumor maligno, que la sobrevida, el pronóstico de un tumor maligno la sobrevida es muy corta, es decir, son muy agresivos y llevan a la muerte muy rápido. Entonces, dependiendo de si es benigno o maligno, entonces así mismo el tratamiento. Pues yo te estoy diciendo eso así como abuelo de pájaro, es una cosa muy grande, ¿cierto? Cuando hablamos de tumores primarios, quiere decir que son los que se generan en una célula que está en el cerebro. Eso es un tumor primario. Y el secundario es cuando, por ejemplo, existe una metástasis de un tumor que sea primario, por decirte, en pulmón, y hace una metástasis, quiere decir una siembra en otra parte del cuerpo. Por decirte algo, hay un tumor primario, un sarcoma a nivel pulmonar. Entonces, por cantidad de motivos existe esas células malignas se van por el torrente circulatorio. Por lo general esas células, como son grandes, van por el torrente linfático y llegan a otro sitio donde encuentran unas cualidades adecuadas y ahí se crece.
¿Tú me puedes decir si esto es verdad que malignos, tumores malignos, después de haber, como después de que te los quiten por cirugía, todavía hay chance de que regresen, ¿verdad?
Sí, claro, sí.
Ok, ¿ese chance es alto?
Dependiendo del tipo de tumor, dependiendo del tipo de tumor.
Ok.
Claro que sí, dependiendo del tipo de tumor y dependiendo en el momento en que usted haga el diagnóstico y empiece el tratamiento. Entonces, el pronóstico de cualquier tipo de tumoración depende del grado, depende del momento en que usted haga el diagnóstico e inicie el tratamiento.
After learning so much from this interview, I wanted to sort of fact check and go on further from what I had learned from the surgeon, which I am very thankful that I got to interview him. So I went online and I actually began to fact check everything that I had learned so far. After 2 more solid hours of research, I found that all my facts were correct, so I decided to continue my research so I could give you guys a better explanation of everything. So here you can see a good picture of what, or a diagram if you would call it, of what a neuron would look like with the oligodendrocytes, the neuron, astrocytes, things like that. This is an astrocyte. An astrocyte gets its name because it's astro, which means star, and cyte is cell. It looks like a star cell. The little things on the end of the structures are called enphy. It has a soma and what it mainly does is keep the brain and blood barrier, and it also helps with the blood flow. And then you have your oligodendrocytes, and there are different types of oligodendrocytes, and what they do is they produce the myelin, and so certain types can only create maybe 2 myelin sheaths, and some can create many more than that. And also, if we go back to the astrocytes, another thing about astrocytes is that they are real workhorses, and they actually outnumber neurons 50 to 1. So, according to the epidemiology of brain tumors and current concepts and review of the literature, which is written by Margaret Wrench and many others, the primary brain tumors are among the top 10 cases of cancer-related deaths, and nearly 13,000 people die from these types of tumors each year in the U.S. About 11 to 12 per 100,000 persons in the U.S. are diagnosed with a primary brain tumor each year, and 6 to 7 per 100,000 are diagnosed with a primary malignant brain tumor instead of benign. Almost 1 in every 1,300 children will develop some form of primary brain tumor before age 20 years, and between 1991 and 1995, 23% of childhood cancers were brain tumors, and about 1/4 of childhood cancer deaths were from a malignant brain tumor. Also, glioma and other neuropathical tumors constitute 49% of brain tumors, and meningiomas are the next most frequent histologic type at 27%. For all primary brain tumors, the patient's average age of onset is about 54 years. But also for glioblastoma and meningioma, the average age of onset is 62 years, but that's still relatively close. So there is a slight decline for the onset averages at around 85 years and older, and controversially, astrocytoma and glioblastoma peak in incidence at 65 to 74 years, and oligodendroglioma it usually averages out around 35 to 44 years. Something that may be correlated with these higher ages being higher cancer rates is probably because of the weaker immune systems. Here you can see a graph comparing the number of cases per 100,000 population and popularity of each type of age group. No, from age group to each type of brain tumor. Don't let the names fool you. They might be very complicated, but they're just named after the type of cells. And OMA simply means tumor. So that won't confuse you too much. They're just different types of cells in the brain, and they can all grow different types of cancers. You can look at the graph to see how popular each is. The two most common types of treatment for brain tumors are either chemotherapy or craniotomies, which really usually have to deal with actually removing the tumor itself through surgery. But there's a very interesting video I want to show that's credited from Duke Health, which is a breakthrough that might show a very interesting type of treatment for certain brain tumors.
Okay, you're doing a great job. The last one's for about 4 minutes and hopefully we'll be done.
In 2010, Stephanie Lipscomb was diagnosed with glioblastoma, an aggressive type of brain cancer. She underwent surgery to remove the tumor, but it returned 2 years later. She agreed to take part in the first phase of a research trial where a modified poliovirus is injected directly into the tumor. That was in May of 2012. 14 months later, the tumor continues to shrink without the use of chemotherapy or radiation.
The idea of using virus to fight cancer is not new at all. It is at least 100 years old, if not much older. So the tumors, such as Stephanie's, is the worst of the worst of the worst you can imagine. This is a type of cancer that does not respond well to anything out there. So that we are seeing a response at all is remarkable. And then the type of response we have seen with Stephanie is the more astonishing.
So it's not like we took any old virus and used it in this context. This is actually a virus that not only is designed to attack tumor cells because of the specific poliovirus receptor, but it's also a virus that has been genetically engineered to be both toxic to the tumor but safe to the normal brain and the normal spinal cord. In addition to that, we think that this poliovirus has a very unique relationship with the immune system and is able to stimulate the immune system in multiple different ways, leading perhaps to the immune system coming in secondarily and attacking other tumor cells that may not be killed directly by the virus.
Okay, so we have July 2013, July 2012. So what we can see, all of that was area where we knew you had tumor cells. And then here was also the tumor that we treated, and how we can barely see anything. A year ago, your brain, today. Good. Okay. I'm really pleased. You're happy too?
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So very satisfying as a scientist to see the predictions made based on laboratory work, to see that in an actual patient. With this approach, most people's response, and I do understand this, is, are you crazy? Poliovirus? Well, we are throwing everything we got at these tumors. And we have to even get more aggressive on our research effort, because for every patient where we have successes, we have others where we don't. So this spurs us on to work even harder. And there's no time for celebration. It's our job to learn how it works.
Throughout the documentary/video, I have been actually mentioning incredibly complicated names such as glioblastoma, astrocytoma, oligodendroglioma, but these are all just names after certain types of cells, and OMA simply means, like I said earlier, tumor. So it's just tumor in that type of cell. And the names really shouldn't scare you. It's not as complicated to classify as it may seem. Here, as you can see, I have a diagram showing the different types of brain tumors, such as meningioma, optic nerve glioma, and craniopharyngioma. And these are all just different types of tumors, like I said. This is just showing where they could be, and this could help you trying to classify them or seeing where they could be. Now, this is the end of the video, and I want to thank everyone for watching and listening to what I had to say and what I had to show you guys. And my two main sources that I would like to thank were Javier Rosero, which was the surgeon I interviewed, and also Mary Wrench and her academic journal on brain tumors. So thank you to those sources, and thanks for watching.